Hey guys, what is up? This is Swift here, and today I'll be talking a little bit more about Windows 10 privacy as well as Windows 10 settings, some settings that you should know, or the more important one that you might be interested in, right? So if you watch my previous video, the upgrading video of my laptop, you will hear that I was talking a lot about privacy and some of the issues that people were bringing up regarding Windows 10. And yeah, so here are just some of the settings that you can actually do to make your Windows device, whether is it your laptop or your desktop, more private in that sense, right? If you do not want to hear me blabber on and on, as I will explain some of the different things, just head on to my website. I have a written guide available there already. The link to that will be in the description bar below. So just click that if you do not want to hear me talk so much. So without further ado, let's go on and proceed. So the first thing here is the one thing that will disable a lot of features that is available on the Windows 10 environment, right? That is using a local account. So a lot of these settings, you obviously have to go to the settings panel. To enter here, you basically either press Windows S, that's your Windows key plus S to open this particular menu, and then you type in settings, and then you can immediately open it and you come here already, or you can just type it here, right? Settings, and then you can just press, and then you'll have this the settings app or whatever they call it, right? So once you're here, you want to click on accounts. Now, of course, if you are interested in using all the cloud services that are available with Microsoft and Windows, you cannot use a local account. So if you think about it this way, this is basically like for Android users, your Google account, where it allows you to access your Play Store, access your email, your cloud storage, and so on. And this is the Microsoft way of doing things. So you can, by signing in with your Microsoft account, you get access to your OneDrive, that's their cloud storage, all the contact syncing, etc. So this is very useful for those of you, especially if you are in the if you have a Windows phone or actually want to use the cloud storage that's provided, which is pretty good, really. It's pretty good by Microsoft. So if you do not want, you can actually press this button or this option here, sign in with a local account instead. So you press that, it'll ask you to enter your current password, which I'm going to do right now. Okay, just to show you the steps. I was using this as a local, I set it up as a local account in the first place. So you just go through everything, you put in your password and whatnot, and then you sign out and re-log in. Alright, so this will take a while. Okay, not sure why there was an error there. Probably because the system was updating at the background. So never a good thing to do it twice like that, as in do it simultaneously. Okay, there you go. And this is a local account. So when you have a local account, a lot of things is cancelled. Your OneDrive, your Windows Store, etc. will not work unless you have a third-party app or whatnot, which I'm not too aware of at the moment. So if you want to stay off the grid, slightly off the grid rather, you can sign in with a local account. So that will help you in that manner. So that's the first thing that I'll talk about, us using a local account. Okay, so next up, what I'll tell you about is something that most of you should be concerned about, which is the Windows updates. So if you are unaware of, basically every Windows 10 device at the moment will be acting like a peer in uploading Windows updates, right? So you will be wasting unnecessary bandwidth if you do not disable this particular feature, and this is something that is very important, especially for those of you who are on metered connections. You might realize, you might find out why exactly, or wonder why exactly you're wasting bandwidth out of nowhere. It might be because that you're actually acting as a peer to upload Windows updates to other people. So to disable this, you head on to Update and Security. Under Windows Update, you want to press Advanced Options. And then this part here. Alright, sorry. About this part here, you can press choose how updates are delivered. Sorry, I was distracted by my phone there. So here, if you read it, you can download blah blah blah, 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 blah. When this is turned on, your PC may also send parts of previously downloaded Windows updates and apps to PCs on your local network or PCs on the internet, right? Depending on what's selected below. So especially this is very important for most of you. You should take note about this, and most of you should want to off this. Especially again, if you're on the metered connection, you want to off it. Okay. So this is one thing that I'll keep it. So off it. I do not want to share with other people. The next one is something that came and ported over from their mobile OS, which is called Wi-Fi Sense. Now, what it basically is, let's just read it, okay? Wi-Fi Sense is under network internet. So you press this. Under this, you go to Manage Wi-Fi Settings. Okay. And then here we go. So of course you need to sign in so that it will actually work properly. So it connects to you to suggested Wi-Fi hotspots, blah blah blah, that your contacts share with you. So you have friends on your social network that use Windows 10 or have a Microsoft account or Microsoft phone, and if they share, say, a password to a particular Wi-Fi address, Wi-Fi spot, you will be able to receive it and log into that particular spot without knowing the password itself, which is really cool in that sense, right? You can actually share without telling people the password, and it's so convenient. The idea is very, very good, but some of you might be thinking, why should I share my password with Microsoft? Now, do note that the passwords will not be known by whoever that is using, only be known by Microsoft, which will be securely stored on their servers at their end, right? But of course, some people also worry, why should I share it with Microsoft? And therefore, you want to off it. Do also note that your password will not be automatically shared unless you choose to do so, okay? So, however, if you want to turn this off, you can do so. Just off everything here, right? Doesn't really matter, okay? So you can just off everything. Sure, this will disable this particular feature. Now, of course, this feature becomes quite useless in the sense that if you do not have a lot of friends that use Wi-Fi or even this particular feature, it's basically going to be off or not, right? So you might want to disable this and you might not even want to use it in the first place. So that is Wi-Fi Sense. Now, one more thing is the collection of data and information. This is basically to disable Cortana. Now, it makes perfect sense for Microsoft to actually collect your information in that sense, your browsing history, some of your files, your frequently accessed website, whatnot. This makes perfect sense because Cortana, in order to provide you with a personalized experience, like to tell you suggestions and whatnot, it requires such information. And it has to be uploaded. This information has to be uploaded to Microsoft servers to be analyzed, because your computer probably cannot have the processing power or is not efficient enough to even analyze such data to provide you with the better results, right? The personalized results and experience. So if you are intending to use Cortana, then you skip this step. If you do not want to use Cortana at all and you don't want Microsoft to collect all of your data in such a manner, you head on to privacy. Okay, under privacy, you go to speech, inking and typing, this particular tab here, and then you click this button, right? Stop getting to know me. So you can see here, we collect information like contacts, blah, 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 and typing history. All this is in order for you to let Cortana serve you better. Okay, so you can press this and you can turn it off. Alright, then you can, if you want to turn it on again, you can press get to know me. But of course, if you do not have a Microsoft account, this does not work as well, I think, because your contacts, etc., will not be synced in that manner. A lot of your things will not be synced, and there might be some issues, or the full effectiveness of this particular feature of Windows 10 will not be brought out, right? The next thing here is disabling targeted ads. Now, under the General tab, we have this new feature. I call it the feature because Windows 10 brings this in. Of course, this comes, I believe, from their mobile site as well. Basically allows apps to use your advertising ID for experiences across apps. Alright, so this is basically sharing your data, some of your data, with all the third-party apps and whatnot, in order for them to provide you with targeted advertisements, right? So advertisements that you might be more interested in. But this, of course, means have to collect some of the data in order for this to work. So to prevent this from happening, you can press off. Okay, so this will stop all these targeted ads from coming to you. Now, one very cool thing is that you can control the access to your camera, your microphone, as well as your location, similar to that of your phone, especially Android phones, right? Now we have all the permission settings and whatnot. So you can see here, for this particular thing, you can control it to the app level. So you do not have to totally turn it off. You can just let it control via app level. So whatever app that you might not want it to have access to your location, you can off, or if you think that, if it requires like a GPS or a map app, you might want to on it for it to work in the first place. Then we also have camera. Some apps, as you can see here, Microsoft Edge use your camera. If you don't want it, you can turn it off. If you want it, you can turn it back on, so on and so forth. Same for microphone as well. You can off it or on it as and when you like. If you want to turn it off in terms of everything, you can do it over here as well. You can let apps use my microphone. We can off it completely. Okay, so that is in terms of managing the permissions given to the apps. Now, the last part here is not so much privacy, but also things that will help you improve your battery life, especially if you're using a mobile laptop and it's running Windows 10, which is your background applications. So what you're going to do is head on to background apps, the very last one here, this tab, and then you're going to really let apps run in the background. So there are a few things that you might not want. For example, for me, I might not want Lenovo support, which I'm not going to want it anymore. Makes no sense at all, it's useless. And then you might not want, like, I don't even use an Xbox, so you want to disable this app at the background. Of course, by disabling some of these apps, you will stop some of the functions and features that these apps provide you, right? So of course, there are these drawbacks as well. But if you do not need them, like for example, Lenovo support, let me say it again, you can just disable it. And this will definitely help you in your your battery life, especially if you're using a mobile device. So that's all I have to say for today. I'm going to have a lot of other guides coming in the future. As you can see, there's this Windows 10 playlist. So if you're interested, you can subscribe to their playlist. If not, you can subscribe to my channel as well. And if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up, right? Or you have any questions or comments or suggestions, do leave them below as well. So before I end off, I'd just like to say some of my opinion regarding these privacy issues, all this collection of data. Now, I guess a lot of people are really upset about what Microsoft is doing, because a lot of these things should be opt-out rather than opt-in. Sorry, the other way around. It should be opt-in rather than opt-out, meaning by default, some of this should be turned off, especially things like the Windows update. Why should I have it as a opt-out that I want to share updates with people using my device? So that is the main issue. Now, a lot of these privacy stuff isn't new, honestly. It's just that it's now in a desktop environment where it's much more powerful, in the sense that our desktop, we do much more with our desktop as well as laptops. that people are slightly more worried. But if you take a look at, say, all the virtual assistants in the past, like Siri, like Google Now, all of these apps in the first place already look through all your contacts, look through all your things, and it syncs with the database in the other side, whether it's a Google, Apple, for it to work. So this isn't actually new. Okay, and as we head further ahead, the industries in this particular industry, we are looking toward cloud services, and this is unavoidable that you have to sync your information between yourself as well as the server at the other end for services to function. So unless you want to go completely offline and not connect to the internet, you will have to embrace such things in the coming in the near future, right? So like your cloud storage, your contacts, your virtual assistants and whatnot, all these require some information to be shared to the other side. Okay, so honestly, if you're doing nothing wrong, or even if you're doing something wrong, you don't really have to worry, because people don't bother about you unless you're like going to destroy the world or something like that. You do not really have to worry about these privacy things. But of course, these are all my own opinion. You will have your own as well. But the future is the cloud, right? And all these privacy issues will keep coming up over and over again, and you will soon, people will just have to embrace it. That's what I feel, at least. Alright, so anyway, that's all I have to say for today. Do give it a thumbs up, right, if you find it informative, and I'll see you guys again very soon.